Hello everyone, and welcome to the first officially real episode of Master Quest. My name's Christian Buckley, and I've never played A Link to the Past before, and that's what the show is about. That's why we're here. That's my purpose in life for the next couple weeks.
It's all you have to do. That's it. Just play A Link to the Past.
I
wish that was the only purpose.
The only reason.
Yeah.
Forget school, forget work.
Yeah.
But I'm joined by I think it's fair to say Link to the Past expert, DJ Giller.
Ooh, thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be referred to as an expert for once. One of the few things I think I can confidently say I know more than most.
Yeah. It feels good having those things.
Yeah, just a couple things. I don't need like a lot of things that like I don't consider myself better than anyone, but this is one of those where it's like, yeah, I'm probably better than most people at this. Just a little self-brag, but.
So, I want to bring this into it since we're talking about that.
Yep.
Your Twitter bio, #1 Funky Kong fan.
Yes, #1 Funky Kong fan.
Do you think that level of expertise is at the same level of your Link to the Past expertise?
See, the thing about Funky Kong for me is I haven't actually played all of the Donkey Kong games. I've missed out on a lot of the ones that like people remember Funky Kong for like Donkey Kong 64. Never played that.
Dude, no.
I know. So like I don't think I can consider myself an expert on Funky Kong, but I would say I'm a fan. I enjoy the Funky Kong, but I don't consider myself the expert on that topic.
I know this is a Zelda show.
Yeah.
But
sometimes Funky Kong's got to come up, you know?
Yeah, Donkey Kong 64 is like one of my favorite games of all time. So it's curious to know that, and I'll keep that in mind.
Judging me for it?
No, I have ideas.
Okay.
So, this idea...
We won't get a Donkey Kong 64. Never mind.
Alright, well, this idea here, this is an idea that we both had to talk about Link to the Past, make a Zelda podcast, make a gaming podcast that we could both have fun with and be sort of unique. So, like I said at the top of the show, I have officially played a little bit of A Link to the Past. You told me to do everything up to the entrance of the Eastern Palace, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, for listeners and also for DJ, because he can't see me right now, I have a notebook. I have about a page and a half, page and a third of notes about my experience with this game so far. So,
Very
DJ,
nice.
I want to throw it to you.
It's a real notebook? Not even like a Windows Google document or whatever?
No, it's a real notebook.
Wow. Very nice.
Because I've been taking an online class over the winter, and I've been using this really nice pen, and I was like, you know what? I never use notebooks.
Nice. I'm
gonna use it in this project, this podcast.
You have something to remember by too. It'd be nice.
Yes. So DJ.
Yes.
Where do you want me to start with this?
Where do I want to start?
Do you have questions for
me? Directly at the beginning. What did you think of, when you went to the title screen? Did you wait long enough for it to do like here's a bunch of the lore about the world and like what's happening, or did you just hit smash start and go?
So before that even.
Okay.
I have my Switch pulled up right in front of me too.
Okay.
I wanted to have it near me for reference. So I'm gonna boot up the Super Nintendo Classic menu. Because that's how I'm playing this bad boy. If you go to the Link to the Past box art and hit X for details.
Yep.
There's a passage I read. Would you like me to recite it for you?
Go for it.
Return to an age of magic and heroes when an evil magician named Aghanim begins kidnapping young maidens in Hyrule in a quest to break the imprisoning seal on Ganon. A young boy named Link is called upon to stop him. Link must venture into twisting mazes, dungeons, palaces, and shadowy forests as he searches for the maidens and Princess Zelda. Traversing both light and dark worlds, he must navigate 8 dark dungeons, fighting evil enemies and huge bosses. Help our hero prevent Ganon and Aghanim from shattering Hyrule forever. Whether you are a young knight, a warrior in training, or an established legend, the Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, will delight.
Huh. That's weird.
So question. Is that like an excerpt from the manual?
I don't know. I've never read the manual. Excuse me. I'm not sure. I don't know where that came from. I guess I wouldn't think Nintendo was like writing all these like long descriptions for all the they might be. I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah, so I saw details and I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. Maybe like controls or something, because I haven't really played a ton of the Super Nintendo Classic games on here.
Yeah. So you kind of want to have like a little bit of a feel.
Yeah, and like I imagined it wasn't going to be hard to control,
No,
you know? Like I popped in here before and I saw the rain and then I left. But yeah, I wanted to like get as much as they were throwing at me, so I did do that first.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
But yes, I did end up seeing the menu cutscene.
Okay. Okay. How are you feeling about that? Just all this like weird or world building they're already doing. It's one of those. I love those like old classic. Just like, oh, you waited on the menu long enough. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You could completely miss it if you like you don't know. It's always those are always fun.
Yeah, I do enjoy that. I was like setting up to make sure my Elgato was like good, because for viewers of this YouTube video, there should be gameplay of everything I was experiencing up to this point so far on screen. So I kind of just rolled into that whole setup about the Golden Land, the history of Hylia. It's cool.
Yeah. It
reminded me.
You go.
Go ahead.
You go ahead. Sorry.
It reminded me of the Wind Waker, because that was the closest in my head of another time Zelda did this at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. I've actually never put that together. Yeah, like Zelda also with Skyward Sword has one of those.
Okay, that's another one I haven't played.
Yeah, so that's I think a couple other ones have similar things. That's kind of I never put that together. It's neat.
Yeah.
So after that, I assume you press start, selected your character. I love the dumb when you're selecting your name, the dumb like crosshair thing.
Yeah, what is that?
It's like it's so hard to figure out, and like you can't even like if you mess up, you have to like go back and then like retype it and like really weird. It's a mess. It's great though.
Yeah, it was strange. I was like, why?
Yeah.
This isn't in the aesthetic
just
at all.
Have a
it
cursor.
Just looks like,
yeah. If this was like a first person shooter, I'd be like, sure, let's do this. Like, I don't care. But it was just weird.
Yeah.
But when you started the game, what did you do first? Because it drops you off in the house, and your uncle's like, I'm gotta go out. Some bad stuff's happening. Let's go do a thing. You stay here. And then obviously you get up. What did you do in that first little area that you start off in? Did you immediately like know where to go? Were you walking around talking to some of the guards maybe? What were you doing?
So yeah, I'm glad we're starting with like the lore and like direction, because of what I read and because of that cutscene, I had more of a context going in.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the introduction to this game before of like the one bed in the house with Link and his uncle, and then he's like, "Oh, stay inside, kid. I'm gonna check something out." So I knew about that part, and I knew that Zelda was like, "Please help me."
Yeah.
But I didn't know the stuff about like where she was, Aghanim and his character. Also, am I saying that right?
I think so. There's a lot of names in this game, actually. I was looking up the pronunciation for something earlier, and there's like
we're gonna get
online.
to one.
Yeah, there's some wild names here.
So because of the cutscene, because I know that Aghanim is like finding these descendants and vaporizing them or something.
Yeah.
He's trying to do this, and Zelda is captured. I did have a few questions written down from that and like going into the game of like, how did he siege power? How was he able to kill the king?
No one knows.
It got to a point where I was exploring. I ran into the castle guards to the south of Link's house first.
Yep.
And I did grab the lantern on the way out.
Nice.
Because if I see a chest in a Zelda game, I'm kind of open.
You got to do it. Yeah.
You have to.
You have to.
So I went south and I talked to those guys, and I was like, just seeing what they were going to say, I figured like, okay, yeah, barricade me so I know where to go.
Yeah.
And they were like, just like, go inside, kid. You can be outside when you're an adult.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
It's very strange, some of the writing here. And some of them are like doing that classic break the fourth wall thing where you're just like, press A to pick stuff up.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
So I have to wonder, why were those guards cool with me, but then every other guard wants to kill me?
Okay, so we're about to dive in. So
okay.
I think in the context of like the opening of the game, it's just because like you're not supposed to be in the castle. Like no one, like there's obviously like there's something that's going on. I'm like, or maybe they are controlled because I think the lore behind it is that Aghanim has controlled all of the castle guards to a certain extent, and also after you get out, the world thinks, and they don't really explain like why the world thinks this, but they think that you stole Zelda. Like when you go into a mocker, I'm like, that's someone in Kakariko Village says that to you at some point. I don't know if you did that.
Yeah, we can get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there, but I think that's like why they're kind of mad. But I think there's something in the lore that the ones in the castle are mind controlled or something, and that's why they're always kind of pissed off. So
exploring around, because you did tell me you wanted me to explore. I kept that in mind. I found a sign that I really liked, and I do think that you're correct with the fact that the castle guards are mind controlled.
Yeah.
Because I ended up writing a note, because I did sort of like make appendages on some of the questions I wrote down once I found answers for them.
Yeah.
So I did ask, do the castle guards work for him? On the castle wall that I thought was a moat. Once I got up there, on the right side, there's a guard standing there, and I saw him. He was just standing, so I went up and I slashed at him. Nothing happened. And then I hit A, and then he talked to me, and he was like, something. Everyone's been acting very strange. It's probably a matter of time before I do that too. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's a very dark sentiment for this castle guard to have in a 1991 children's game. Just like,
right?
Something's going on here.
And he's talking to this kid who's like, "What? How old is Link supposed to be in this game?"
I don't know. Like, I think this is one of the ones where he's kind of supposed to be a child.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it was between that and then this sign that I really liked. I went up to it. It was on the way to the castle, before the bridge. I read it. It said 100 rupees to the man who finds descendants of the sages from the king.
Really?
So I was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. So like Aghanim came in, obviously he killed the king.
Yeah.
He has control over the castle guards, which I'm assuming is how he was able to kill the king.
Probably, yeah.
And then he's acting in the name of the king. I guess like the general public probably doesn't know the king is dead.
This is wild because like I don't think I've ever seen that sign before, because I think I also like probably watched a stream or like a YouTube video of like the opening of this game before, so like I knew how to get there. So I think in all of my replays I've never like, I think this is the first time I did talk to the guards at the bottom and like actually like look around, because I was curious. I wanted to be like prepared for something like this, but I totally missed that sign. That's really interesting. I've never even known those kind of things.
Well, I totally get that though, because like how many games have you played? Even like Pokemon does this, where you go up to a sign and it just says like, hit select to see your options. You know?
Yeah. Not really paying much attention to like the early game signs, even signs in general. Like,
yeah.
Well, I should skip them all the time, anyways.
Because of that sign, though, for the rest of my playthrough so far, I played for about an hour and a half, I think total. I was reading every sign I saw just to see if there was some more context.
Yeah, I think
I really did like
most of the rest of them are probably just like Kakariko Village this way, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't think there's much more happening there.
Mm-hmm.
To my memory.
Before we continue with the plot of everything, I just want to say, I think some of these sprites in this game are not good.
Not good. Okay, I wanted to talk about the artwork in general.
Yeah.
It's it definitely shows its age
like
as one of the first Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, and I think it's like Super Mario World was also one of the first, and that game looks significantly better to me.
It does. Yep.
I think both World and Link to the Past don't look great compared to something like a Super Metroid, which I think is the best looking Super Nintendo game.
Yep, I agree.
At least from like
I'm gonna give it to Chrono Trigger, but yes.
Okay, I haven't seen enough of Chrono Trigger to judge, but yeah, like, are they just trying to like show off all the colors that they have or something?
Maybe. I think there's like some weird trivia thing about like why Link's hair is pink, and like I'm sure you noticed that too. It was like just a weird decision. I think there's like something where like they were trying to show something off, or like they needed to do it in order to like keep everything together or something, because like the weird stuff with like old technology and like color palettes and stuff. It's wild. It's very interesting, but
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the colors.
I agree.
Being just like so clashing.
Yeah. Did you get to a part later when you were exploring? Did you get to the Lost Woods? Maybe.
I did for a little bit. Yeah.
That part looks good. Like there are parts in this game where like they diversify like the core like characters and like sprites don't look great, but I think some of the areas end up looking a lot better. It's a lot cooler as you go on, especially.
Something about that too, as far as like the design of the world goes. Some of my knowledge from A Link to the Past comes from. Are you familiar with Easy Allies?
Yes, I watched some of you at Easy Allies.
I know Kyle Bossman has like a vendetta against this game,
really?
And I've heard him pitch why he doesn't like it, and a lot of it falls down to like the art direction of things. But like, I never really got where he was going with it until the moat incident, because I guess like there's not a consistency of like the angles of perspective or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like 100% not even like feeding into that kind of mindset. I did think that the castle was surrounded by a moat, and that's why I couldn't walk into it. So then when I came out of that second level door and I was walking on the blue, I was like, oh, wait, what? Like it took me a second to realize.
Yeah.
And like, I think that is like, from the dungeons I've been in, it continues, but I adjusted to it.
Yeah. I think as you go, you're going to feel a lot better about it, especially when we get to some of the stuff later in the game. You'll be like, oh, like this looks pretty cool. But it's always going to be like background, and like it's never going to like those kind of like perspective things are probably going to be like pretty consistent, but like some of the environmental stuff I think is pretty cool.
Yeah,
because you can imagine, you've played other Zelda games, there's a mountain area, there's a forest, there's a lake, like all that kind of stuff. So you got into Hyrule Castle, I'm guessing.
I did.
You did.
I found the thing on the side, the little hole.
Yep. You made it down. You saw your uncle who's dead, and he's like, you take the sword, do the thing.
Yeah. So, another lore question, since you know. The technique of our people, is he also like the bloodline of the hero, or is he like your uncle that was like actually your dad's friend, or what is?
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be bloodline of the hero.
Okay.
But so this takes place. Actually, you probably can't be, because I guess Link died in this timeline. So maybe, I don't know. That's probably a weird one where like maybe it's like a different like part of the bloodline. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it's, I guess that you can say this is the new bloodline, whatever. But the technique of our hero, it's like, I guess you haven't learned the technique of like what he's referring to yet, have you?
I got the spinny thing.
Okay, you can. I wasn't sure if you could spin yet. If that was like a sword upgrade. Okay, that's what I was referring to. But yeah, I'm not totally sure myself.
Yeah. So your uncle dies without much fanfare.
Yeah.
And then
rest in peace.
I did a lot of exploring. I filled out all the map of Hyrule Castle for everything I could do. That electric fence thing on the outside of the castle.
Yes.
It's
like on like the balconies, right? Or no, it's in front of the door too, right? Oh,
it's in front of the door on the outside part of the raised castle wall moat thing.
Yeah. I actually never even went out there on this playthrough. I know it in my head, but I never went out there on this one because I knew where to go for the thing. But that's interesting that you just found your way in there.
So yeah, I wasn't able to get in, but I did see it, and I was like, oh, maybe this is like Breath of the Wild style. Is this where the final boss is gonna be or something?
Maybe. I won't feel it yet, but maybe.
Yeah. Feel free to hold back.
Information, I will. I was scared to even say the Lost Woods too earlier. Like I don't want to do anything. So.
Yeah. I'm fine being blind on some things.
Yeah. When you got in there, how were you feeling about combat? Your first like introduction to like how it's gonna work.
I'm mashing a lot.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the strategy.
It's not that deep, so.
Yeah. I found myself like I figured out that if I attack them obviously from behind or like on the side that they're not holding their weapon or shield.
No, here's the thing, because I was
Yeah.
thinking about this too. I was looking at it. Their shield is on the left side, and their sword is on the right. Like if you look at the pixel, like it looks like it should be a shield, like it's a really small one.
Yeah.
So I was thinking in my head, just like, I get it from this perspective, like he's got the sword sticking out, but shouldn't the side that you hit him on the shield with be the blocking side?
Are you sure it's not a hand?
And maybe it's a hand. I thought it's so hard with like the small pixel art, but I was like,
Yeah.
is this a shield? And that shouldn't work the way it does. That's very weird.
Right.
But yeah,
It's cool that like you have the sword fight kind of thing with it, of like it clinks off the sword if you hit it.
yeah.
I like that.
If you like
but,
hold down B to like use the spin attack, like you can.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is cool. It's like
Yeah,
it's like not impressive, but it's just like one of those things where like they were kind of doing like sword like combat type stuff, like actually like blocking and things like that. Like it's not ridiculous. It's no Sekiro, but they were actually doing some stuff there, which is interesting. It's not just like most games of this era, like you would have just walked up and hit him with the sword, like anywhere on there, right? Like, so I think it's cool that they at least have like a little like, okay, hit him on the left. That's you, and that's kind of consistent throughout the game.
Yeah, I'll say I found it a little bit frustrating at times because I feel like it's kind of inconsistent.
Okay.
As far as like not hit detection, but like I don't know, just like general distance between enemies and like what connects as a hit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
You'll
like
get used to it, I
overlapping
think.
with the sprite of Link to actually damage me when I thought I was gonna kill them.
Yeah. Did you die at all during this part?
Oh, a couple times.
Okay, yeah. I think like a lot of other Zelda games, you'll die in the first dungeon more than you will in like the third or fourth. Once you get like some heart upgrades and stuff, and like get like some potions and things like that, like you'll probably find like for the mid game. Then when you get to the end game, like it'll get hard again. But it's Zelda games always have that weird thing where they start you with 3 hearts, and that is just not enough. When you start a lot of these games, like you're in the tutorial area, but you're dying all the time. It's weird.
So I make it through Hyrule Castle. I find the dungeon. I get to Zelda after she's been like force timing with me.
Yeah.
So she's like, escort me out. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
She knows a secret exit out of the castle. We make our way there to the very out of place sword display in the the throne room. And we go in. I need the lantern to be able to see.
Yep.
What would have happened if I didn't take it from the house?
I don't know, and I don't like. It seems pretty optional, right? And even the chest on the right, where you get the magic, or no, do you get the magic meter? No, you get the.
There's a little potion in the pot in that corner.
Yeah.
For the magic meter.
If you don't get like the magic, then like you can't even use it. So like, there's a lot. I've never tried it, but I think you can just go with the game like without getting it, which would be very strange. And like they probably should just give it to you, but. Yeah. It was an old game, so you kind of forgive. And also, it's a chest. You open the chest. Like, if you walk out of that chest, or you walk out of that room with the chest in it, you start in. You're a fool if you just don't open it.
That reminded me, when I played Pokemon Red as a child, there's that cave where you have to get the HM of Flash to get through it. Otherwise, you just have this tiny little viewfinder or a circle around your character.
Yep.
I went through that entire tunnel without having Flash as a child.
I did the same thing as a child.
And I think it's just bad game design, because when I played through Pokemon Red and Blue with my friend Jack for the my first Moncho, he did the exact same thing.
Yep. That one, like this one at least, it's like, okay, it's in the first room, like you should probably, most people are going to pick that up. But the Pokemon one is like legit, like you could miss that very easily. And it's a total pain to do it without it.
So these sewers, right?
Yeah, so you go into the sewers. There's one thing I noticed in here. Did you see the cracked wall when you're in the sewers down there?
No, but I saw a cracked wall later.
Okay.
A couple times. And I forget where I saw them, but I do want to go back.
Yeah.
Because I have things now.
Yeah, so you probably have found bombs.
I have.
Yeah, so it works like the original Zelda in the sense that, like, in later Zeldas, like, bombs are like an actual item you get later in the game in like a dungeon or whatever, but in this one it's just, excuse me, in this one, you just like you'll just find him in like a bush because you just
Mhm.
keep bombs in bushes sometimes. Sometimes it happens. So yeah, I think it's interesting that they went in that direction and that you get them in the first. Like you can, I think you can get them. Or no, I don't think you can get them in Hyrule Castle because I think the intention there's a cracked wall in the sewer there, and it's the first time you see like one of those. I think because the original Zelda didn't have them, so I think it's like the first time in the franchise that like they do it. And there's just a few rubies back there, I think. But I just think it's like an interesting thing where like the very first area, like they wanted you to notice that and like just be thinking, like maybe I can do something there. Like they always want you thinking like, okay, I'm gonna get items and they're all gonna allow me to like see new things in this world, unlock new stuff. They always wanted you thinking about that. So I thought that was an interesting touch that they put that there.
Yeah, there's definitely a few instances of my exploration through this episode where I made a mental note of, okay, I have to come back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
More comments on the sprites. Those snakes.
Don't like them?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yikes. Are those also spiders or scorpions?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, whatever they were. I got to the end of this whole thing, right? The room before.
Yeah.
The
one with the levers, is that what you're talking about?
The sanctuary, like before the sanctuary, yeah, the levers, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got there, and I died.
Okay. Did you die because you pulled the wrong lever?
Yeah, so I pulled the one on the left, right?
Yeah.
Because Zelda says, pull the lever over there.
Yeah. No.
That is Miyamoto trolling me. Okay?
100%.
I was mad.
Yeah.
Because I know this is an old game, and I know that it's like get good, because that's what it was back in the day.
Yeah.
It's not even that hard, okay?
No.
But like, the inconvenience of it, the misdirection of it, and the fact that they throw me back in Hyrule Castle.
Really? Okay.
As a
I was gonna ask
point.
like how they deal with death in like the first opening. They just throw you like the entrance of Hyrule Castle, probably.
No, they throw me back to the entrance of the secret passage in the throne room.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But
That
that was
kinda
annoying.
sucks. Yeah.
That was
Especially
very
because
annoying.
that's like the room before the church. The
I know,
sanctuary or
because she
whatever.
said, "Oh, this is the last room," and I was like, "Sweet." And then obviously the little snakes that look like those little fuzzy worms
Yeah.
come down out of the ceiling and then destroy me.
Yeah. I couldn't remember which one it was, and I did pull the left one, and like I was able to get out of there, but I almost died, I think.
Yeah, because the thing is, I went into that room with like one heart left.
Yeah. And then
So
if I was kind of expecting it, I was like, okay, I don't know if this is the right one, but I better be prepared if it isn't. And I was in a corner with the spin attack ready to go, and like, yeah, but yeah, I can see that.
Oh, also, I don't think I wrote this down, but at some point I get the boomerang.
Right, I think that's what you get in the chest on the right that I was talking about when you first go in.
Okay.
And
I think you're right.
find your uncle. I think that's what you find over there.
No, I think there was a rupee in there.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah,
Do
but
you
once
find it
you
in
get
Hyrule
into like,
Castle?
I think it's like B1 or B2 of Hyrule Castle. It's the level
Okay.
before Zelda's dungeon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I found it there. I like the boomerang a lot because it's stunning enemies.
Yeah.
It's very helpful, especially
Yeah.
for those purple guys.
Totally.
So yeah, I get back, I go through again, and I meet the priest guy.
Right, that dude. And he
Yeah,
sends
we
you off
trust him.
to Kakariko, pretty much.
Yes, he says go find the elder who is a descendant in the village.
Yep.
So a couple questions.
All right.
This priest guy we're cool with, just off the bat, like we trust him.
Yeah, I've never suspected him. I won't spoil
Okay.
whether or not he's what he does later in the game, if he does anything else.
Okay.
But yeah.
Just because like all these castle guards fell, and then we trust this priest. You know?
That's fair. That's fair. He might be setting you up for a trap.
Yeah.
And when you
which
get to
you're showing
Kakariko,
trust in
things
a
aren't
trap.
great.
Yeah, so
You never know.
we take a little detour before Kakariko.
Okay.
That's where the majority of my spelunking was
Okay.
in this episode. So, he says, go that way. Also, they kind of allude to Ganon being behind Aghanim.
Yeah.
And the manual I read at the top of the episode kind of confirms that for me.
Yeah.
So, I have to go west on the map. I go east.
Nice. Good job.
Yes.
It's always the way to do it.
I kept the motto in mind.
Yeah.
I found a fairy fountain.
Okay.
Great fairy. Got healed up. I continued going eastward. I found an arrow in the grass pointing right.
Right.
Like in the environment, there was just like a big arrow made up of the small grass.
Oh, really? And then like it was pointing somewhere?
Yeah, it was pointing rightward.
Okay.
So I crossed a bridge there. There were a couple guards that were shooting me with bows. Killed them, and I found the witch and her magic shop.
Yes. Yes.
She did the toil and trouble rhyme.
Yeah. And she says, like, bring me something sweet or something like that. And
she said she's, like, making mushroom stew or something.
Yeah.
Remind me of Link's Awakening.
Yes, yes.
The witch with her brew.
Yep. There's a lot of things in this game that you're going to play, and you're going to be like, that's just like that thing in Link's Awakening, because Link's Awakening started as, like, a port of this game, and then they kind of
really cool too.
They switched it up into, like, its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, there's also a sign pointing to the Waterfall of Wishing.
Okay.
Which I have to come back to later because there's a stone blocking my path and I cannot lift it.
Yep.
Go back west again the way I came. I find 5 arrows, but I don't have a bow. So that's sad.
Yeah.
I like me some bows in games. Horizon.
It'd be cool.
Skyrim.
It'd be could if you could just throw them. You know?
The arrows?
Yeah, they went a lot slower than when you get the bow in the game, but like you could do it, I guess.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I know that you can't do it in this game, but like in Breath of the Wild 2, what if like if your bow breaks and you could just like throw the arrows to like stun enemies or slow them down?
They could totally do that actually, because now that I'm thinking about it, they have the throwing mechanic with like the swords.
Yeah.
You could just do that.
I feel like
that would
Naruto.
Be interesting. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I got killed again, though, going back that way by a crab, I think.
Crab. Okay.
Some kind of crab. Looked like a crab.
I can't think of a crab in this game, so sure. Was it were you like, on a beach or like were you on the ground?
No, it was on that bridge where the arrow guys were shooting me.
Oh, I know exactly what I know the exact enemy you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's some sort of
crab
or something. Yeah.
Got killed, went back to the sanctuary, and then continued to go back east where I was.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw the sign for the Eastern Palace.
Right.
And I was like,
that was where you're gonna go eventually.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe we should go back on the main path.
Yeah.
So, past the sanctuary again, go west. I found Death Mountain.
Right.
But I need permission from the king.
Oh, I didn't even know there's a blocker there. I don't think I've ever done that this early. Interesting. Is there like a guard there who's like, you need permission or something?
I think there's a boulder blocking the main entrance, and then there's a sign by that boulder. And the sign says you need permission from the king.
Yeah.
So, I can't do anything there, but I go up and left and further north behind it.
Mm-hmm. And the lumberjacks,
and I find A Bumpkin and B Bumpkin, the lumberjacks.
Yeah.
They know me?
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this game where like Link is like a character in this world. Like it's not like a classic Zelda thing where like you wake up and you're just a dude that's gonna save everything. Characters talk to you and they're like, Link, here, my friend. How are you today? Mm-hmm. Like it's all that weird stuff. So yeah.
So because I'm like an 8-year-old, they know me because of my uncle, probably, right?
Probably, yeah.
So does my uncle? I know like this is the whole history of like Link's in other Zelda games of like, oh, he's Zelda's knight, or he's a part of the royal family sort of by some association.
Yeah.
So is it alluded to that my uncle is a castle guard or something for the family?
I don't know exactly. I think
Okay.
lore wise, because this is in the timeline where like Link dies and like that bloodline seems like it's like kind of wavered. Like I don't think you do have any connection, but your uncle, the game actually never brings up your uncle again. So like it is kind of weird that everyone talks to you and they recognize that your uncle just kind of died. You have no family, you're just on your own. but now you're just traveling with a sword. Like, it seems a little weird that people would comment on that, but it's an old game. It's an old game.
Yeah. And, like, so far, nobody knows that the king is dead, I guess.
Yeah, no one even, like, brings him up, like, that much. They're just like, something's going on over there. You stole Zelda,
politics.
you bad kid. Whatever. Everyone's just kind of chill. Like, they're not too worried, even though things seem kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these bumpkins, they're sort of like the first characterized NPCs I've found so far.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, it's fun. They're weirdos. You know, they're just lumberjacks sawing down this tree that they thought was like a special tree or something. They had a weird feeling about it.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be like the Deku tree or something?
Maybe there is something to do with that tree. It's not a huge Deku tree thing, but I think there is a little secret there.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure so when we talked last week about like how you're curious about like the side quests in this game, as I was playing it, it was like all like rushing back to me, and most of those kind of things are for like sword upgrades and like things like that of that nature, and like inventory and like stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure these dudes, there's something you can do there to get something that will be revealed later, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, did they say anything about like what they were? Did they just mention the tree that like there was something special, or did you go into their house maybe?
I didn't make a note. I only saw that, and then
Okay.
I think I went in their house, and there wasn't much of note in there.
Okay.
I can check the footage later and see if there was something when I'm editing this, but yeah. I don't think there's anything notable.
Okay.
So I talked to them, and the one on the left is the one who addresses me by name and talks about a strange fog that has taken over the forest.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay, the Lost Woods.
Yep.
So I keep going left. I find the entrance to the Lost Woods, which, you are correct, does look very cool.
It does. I love that. That effect is really, really strong.
Yeah, it surprised me of how, like the problem I recognized before with depth perception, I think this forest does it well.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, the fog, does it cast a shadow also?
I think it might. And even if it doesn't, like, it just has, like, that, like, I think it's on an angle, and it just kind of, like, makes everything look a little bit more, like, when you're in a dungeon, like, the colors are all completely flat. It makes it all look like it's happening on like a poster, like it's just in front of you, and like there's just like a plane, where this one looks like it's actually like a diagonal. Which is kind of cool that they would do these effects this early.
Yeah, it definitely comes across, if not having a shadow, as like a different layer, so I like that.
Yeah.
Gives it more depth and texture.
Yeah.
But
and then when you come in this entrance too, I think there's like birds in like when you walk in, like there's the little touches like that in a lot of like in a lot of like the more main areas other than like the overworld, and a lot of like the story or like the dungeon, like outside of dungeons and things like that. There's a lot more going on, which I think is a lot of that stuff. I actually like. I like the look of it. But you are correct though. Like a lot of the other stuff in the game doesn't look great.
I did enjoy this, and I looked around a little bit by the entrance.
Okay.
I found that sword, and then Link was like, "Oh, it's the Master Sword." No, that can't be right.
Yeah.
And I threw it. And
don't you like get to pick it up and just like throw it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you discovered yet that throwing items is like the strongest weapon you have?
I didn't notice that it was the strongest weapon, but I did throw it at a rat earlier in the sewer, and it worked.
Yeah. So in this game, it's very strange. I think throwing a pot ends up being the same amount of power as hitting with a fully upgraded sword by the end of the game. It's ridiculous. Like if you're ever in a bind, if you're ever in a bind in a dungeon, like just go like when you find a pot and then just run over to the guy and just throw it, and you're like, all right, that probably did the job.
Okay.
It's very weird.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So did you find anything in the Lost Woods, or?
No, I figured I didn't need to be there right now.
Yeah.
And my exploration so far has basically resulted in me saying I have to come back here.
Yeah. There is.
So I figured I wouldn't be able to get the Master Sword immediately.
No.
Yeah.
I will say there is one thing in the forest that I found and you can find now. that will
Okay.
help you out. I
Okay.
won't say what it
I might go
is,
back
and
then.
like I think once you find it, you're gonna figure out what you have to do with it. But yeah, there is one thing. So I assume you
Okay.
probably went south to Kakariko after.
Yes. Well, first I died again
Okay,
from a
nice,
bomb
nice.
bush.
Did you
What are
meet the
those things?
thieves in the Lost Woods?
No, I didn't get far at all.
Okay, you should go back there. I might look around for some other stuff because there's some stuff you can actually do here in the Lost Woods. This
Cool.
That's funny. This is like the one point in the game where, early in the game you can actually do some cool stuff, like by exploring, and then you got to the point where you explored other stuff, and then you're like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do anything yet. That's funny.
Yeah, and it's strange because like we talked about this on our preview episode. I said this then, and I was like confused when people were saying that Breath of the Wild was the first open world Zelda game.
Yeah.
Because
No.
in my head, stuff like this constitutes an open world.
Okay.
Like, there are different locations across the map where I don't need to be right now that I can go and do things in. I can talk to people, have conversations, learn things, get items.
Yeah.
I can't progress the story in those areas, but like, I can still explore this open world, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they block me off from dungeons, sure. Like, I can't go into Death Mountain.
Yeah. But they give you
But-
enough where it's like, okay. And
Yeah.
especially like, I feel like that's such a narrow-minded approach to like what an open world game can be, because like open world games started as this. Like the first
Yeah.
Zelda game is like, I think there was some other stuff earlier, but the first Zelda game is like the first like big, like, okay, this is like, that started the genre basically, and like we all
Yeah.
kind of funneled from there. So yeah, that is a strange take that people would say these games aren't open. I wouldn't vouch for like even something like Ocarina. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
From one of those perspectives, because like even the open world, like there's nothing really there. Whereas in these games, because they're like smaller, more dense, that you can fill with stuff. So
Yeah, because like even like on a more modern scale too, with stuff like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess when I was a kid, like in my head those were open world too, because I
Yeah.
could get in the boat or I could get on Epona and travel around,
Yeah.
find hidden items, find secrets, kill
Yeah.
enemies, do whatever.
Twilight Princess less so, but I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Wind Waker is like a little bit more interesting in that regard, because like there's just all like Twilight Princess is like pretty empty when you think about it. Like it is open technically, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like it's more of like a limitations thing than this is not an open world game. Like I don't feel that. While we're on this subject though, how are you feeling about the map in this game? Because I assume you opened it and like looked around. And
Yes.
how are you feeling about that?
I did make a note, like, it's cool that there's a map.
Yep.
It's detailed enough that I can know what region is where.
Yep.
But after playing Breath of the Wild, I really wish I could make pins.
Yeah, I feel that. It's good that you
Because,
have a
like-
notebook though. Like it probably is gonna
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, I there was a point where I did get bombs, which is pretty close to where we are right now,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I remembered a cave. It might have been. I think I found 2 fairy fountains. I think it was like one of them. There was a clear place to bomb, and I forgot where it was.
Yeah.
So when I'm editing this, I'm gonna make a note of where I was because now I have bombs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the map is like fine. It's serviceable. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. The reason to bring it up is because this is one of the areas where like I think later Zelda games, specifically Link's Awakening, do this a lot better. I was trying to think. I can't remember how the remake does it, but I know in the original game it's all square based. Like it's like you 1 screen, 2 screen, like all that kind of stuff, because it's just
Yeah.
Game Boy game limitations. But in that game, everything is blank until you explore it, and
Yeah, I love that.
I think it like I get why they did it here, and like they put like pins on your map at some point, and like they kind of show you where to go basically. And I kind of wish they had more of like a approach where it's like you're just unlocking it as you go.
Yeah.
That was one thing I thought they improved upon in Link's Awakening, and then they brought that back for Breath of the Wild, which is awesome.
Yeah, I like I said last week, Link's Awakening I love to death, and so I have picked up
Yeah.
on a few things in here. But yeah, I think I totally get where you're coming from, and I think with this, specifically for me, with the mindset of wanting to explore this world, seeing where they want me to go gives me a better idea of, like, where I don't need to be and where I should look for secrets and, like, little odds and ends.
Yeah.
Which, so far, have been my favorite things about this game, like the bumpkins and the sign about the king.
Yeah. And one thing too that they do, they're aware that like you have a map, and in certain ways, like you'll talk to people and they'll talk about like, oh, there's this rumor about like this thing over at the lake somewhere, and then you can check your map and like see where it is. And like, okay, I should explore there. Like, I think they're aware that like you have a map and you should be using it. So it's a different design approach. Like I don't think either or is worse than the other. I think I just personally I prefer like the Link's Awakening, Breath of the Wild style, where you're unlocking it as you go. Yeah.
So back on track, I go to Kakariko.
Right.
I know that place from several games.
Yep. First appearance, I think here. I don't think it's in Zelda. I don't think it's in Zelda 2. I haven't finished Zelda 2. It's I'm a fake gamer. It's too hard for me. And it's definitely not number 1. So I think this is the first mention of Kakariko.
I heard about this too recently.
Okay.
This is the first game with Zelda's Lullaby.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I
didn't know that.
Do you hear it when you rescue her? I think there's like a brief moment when you're talking to her that you hear it for the first time, then it goes away. It'll come back like later in the game, like you'll hear it more. But I think there's a brief moment where you hear it.
Yeah, once you're talking to Zelda in the prison cell, it's playing.
Yeah.
It's a good version of it.
Yeah, good music in this game. Very, very good.
There's a couple points that I thought the music was a little weak.
Yeah.
Like the dungeon music, I think is like fine.
Yeah.
It's like, it sounds like it's like a 10 to 15 second loop.
Yeah, the dungeon themes are all like that. Yep.
Yeah.
I think the overworld theme is a really good version.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm pretty sure. I think there actually might be a version in the first Zelda game of the Hyrule Castle theme. I think there's like a just very mute version, but this is like the first version where when you hear that, you can almost see where like this is like the when you can really hear like, okay, like this rendition is like almost pretty much the same, like all the way to like Breath of the Wild when that comes on at the end of that game. Like it's the same song pretty much, which I think is really cool. I really like that song.
For sure.
Yeah.
I talked to the fortune teller.
Right. Okay.
I paid 10 rupees to know something I already knew.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they told me you will find Saharsala.
Yeah, however.
And then I was like, yeah, I know. And then they're like, pay me.
What for the rest of this episode, let's just agree to call him Sasha, because that's what I always call him. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to get it. It's not going to happen.
That is fine by me.
Yeah.
So I explore further into the village, right?
Yep.
I see the sign again. Reading all these signs. Bad Link face is wanted.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a cool touch, and I like that in Kakariko. There's that woman and the person in the red hat that react to you.
Yeah. The red hat guy. I don't think you can catch him yet. Can you?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I tried, but then I like followed him off screen, and then I was like, "Where are you?" And I saw you respawn where he was originally.
Yeah, they just respawn. Yeah. Terrible.
So,
then the woman like runs away from you, right?
What was that?
The woman like runs away into her house. Like she's like, nope. Guards come after you or something.
Yeah, they sent one guard. I killed him, and I went up to her door and it was locked. So.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have gone in before I talked to her.
Maybe.
But I love the animation of the red hat guy, because he like jumps up, he like backs up from you a little bit, then turns around and runs.
Yeah, it actually is like it's kind of cool that like they're reactive at this point. Like it's one of the things where all the other enemies are just kind of rushing you, and like other ones are like, it's very weird when someone runs away, or like someone like you talk to someone and like they're scared and like they move like these weird speeds. Like it's very jarring, but it's cool.
Yeah, it adds a lot of character to it for me.
Yeah.
So I talked to this older woman who trusts me.
Yep. That is Sasha's wife.
Oh, that's who it is?
Yep.
Okay. Did not come across, but figured she knew him because she had white hair.
Yeah.
And seemed like an elder as well. She told me that the Master Sword is one of many Hylian artifacts. I don't know if that's going to come into play.
Yep.
For many others.
Maybe. I won't spoil anything.
Okay.
The Master Sword, believe it or not, is in this game. Believe it or not, I will spoil that part for you.
It's not just in the title screen?
No, it's in the game.
Yeah. I continued to explore the village. I found the thieves' hideout.
Yep.
Their leader is blind and he doesn't like light.
Yeah, okay. I like that you caught that.
Blind?
Pardon?
His name is blind?
His name is blind.
And he doesn't like light. Okay.
Yeah. I'm glad you caught that because there's stuff about that later in the game.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Did you talk to
I went
anyone
downstairs.
else?
There was that little puzzle.
Yeah, the little block puzzle. Did you get all the chests?
I did. 5 red rupees.
Nice.
Left that place. Continued to explore. I found a well beneath a cliff. I was like, I've played Link's Awakening. I know what to do here.
You hop in. I don't think you can get anything yet, can you? Or do you get just you get some rupees or something, right?
That's where I got bombs.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, I got those, returned to the village. This is where I ran into the hat person.
Yeah.
I went south, talked to the kid. He's the one who told me the secret. I liked that.
What was the secret? I'm sorry. I can't remember. I talked to this kid too.
The location of the elder.
Right, yeah. You just kind of... It's not even the wife that tells you, I think. It's just the child over here. It's weird.
Yeah, because, this is probably 10 minutes into me being there. I've encountered the guards at that point. I got my bombs, and then I'm continuing to talk to these NPCs. And I talked to this kid, and he's like, oh, hey, I'll tell you. Just don't tell the bad guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that they give the kid the position, because Link's a kid, and, obviously the adults aren't going to trust him.
He's just like, bro, come here. I got some juicy stuff here. I gotta tell you this.
It was a nice touch.
Yeah.
What else did I do in the village? I bought a bottle.
Okay, you bought it from that creepy shop dude.
Yeah,
with
100 rupees.
Yeah, expensive.
Did I get ripped off?
No.
Okay.
There's only a certain amount of bottles in the game, so especially going into the later levels, you're gonna want all of them probably.
Okay.
I honestly don't not recommend playing with a walkthrough just for upgrades. There's a lot of upgrades that you can very easily miss, and there are walkthroughs out there that are just here's just the page where you can do all of the upgrading all the different weapons that you can upgrade in the game, and all the collectibles bottles and stuff, pieces of heart. You can find one of those. I would recommend perusing one maybe for now for now as we're going just wait on it. But if you start getting through the game a lot more and you haven't found any of this stuff, I would probably recommend just looking some of this stuff up.
Okay. For now, I would be cool if you know that for whatever the lineup is for the next episode, if there's something I can get between where I am now and where you want me to be, if you know of something and you just say, hey, there's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
For now, that might be enough.
Yeah. Because there's another I'll say this, there's another bottle in that town you could get now. I don't know if you got it.
Okay.
But there is another one that you can get. I think there's 4 in the game. So you can get 2 right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can imagine you put those other games what you could use those for.
Right.
You talked to anyone else here?
I think once I talked to the kid and bought the bottle, I was good.
Okay.
Oh, I wrote down a piece of dialogue from the salesman that I liked.
Okay, well, hit me.
Hold it above your head for the world to see. It's good for business. I love
Is that what he said for the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very weird. Very good.
Link lives in a capitalist society that he feeds into. It's great.
There's something else in this village that you should find. I will say that, along with the bottle. There's 2. There's a bottle, and then there's another thing that you should find. Yeah. Okay,
I'll go back there.
Yeah.
Because I did talk to the people in the inn, I think. And
did you go to the bar?
Was that where the old man was, and he was like, my son doesn't talk to me?
It might have been.
Because I talked to him.
Yeah, there's one that's like there's a bunch of like stools, and then there's like a back room with a chest in behind.
Oh, I didn't see the chest,
Okay.
but I did go in there.
Yeah, I think that might be the place. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll go back there then.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm like, okay, it's time to go to the Eastern Palace.
Yeah.
So I retread a lot of where I've explored in the past.
Yep.
Killed again by an Octorok.
Classic.
Yep. I found Sasha.
Yep.
I explored this ruinous area first. I wanted to see like what the general environment was like. I killed a couple of the statues.
Right.
And I went into the Eastern Palace dungeon, and I was like, I saw that little shack. Let me go there first, because I thought that might have been the entrance.
Yeah.
So I went back there. That's where Sasha is. Gives me a little lore dump.
Yep.
Only the hero who has won 3 pendants can wield it. Temple of Time.
Yep.
It gives me a test to find the Pendant of Courage from the Eastern Palace.
Yeah. You can really see from here that they're just like, oh, this is where they got the structure for Ocarina. Like this is it. It's very funny.
Like the sages
Yeah.
or the wise men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Also, there's a bomb wall in that room, but I'm out of bombs.
Shame.
So that's where I stopped.
I think it's you stopped there. You didn't go to the Eastern Palace. You knew it was.
Well, I went
You knew it
back
was
to
there,
the Eastern
so.
Palace and saved outside of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Very cool.
that
I
is
can't even
the
remember.
adventure so far.
I can't remember what Sasha even says other than the pendants. I think he drops like more like lore stuff, but I'm not. It's probably just a mess. Like it's not a big deal.
He said something about like the sages and the seal and testing me, and I need the
Yeah.
pendants to.
I think he brings up
Open.
like the maidens that have been taken and stuff. I think so.
I think he mentions that. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, though.
Another question.
All right. If you have any more,
So
I guess
he's-
since we're done, like if you have any more questions you want to throw out, go for it.
So since he is also a descendant, I don't know if I brought this up earlier.
Yeah.
If he's also a descendant, why did they not go after him? Why did they only go after the maidens?
It's a video game, man. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Zelda lore is dumb because like there's such old games where like they weren't even thinking about these questions, but now when you have a full timeline and you're like, oh, he's the descendant of the hero from Ocarina of Time, which splits off in 3 different directions. Like you want to have like these like weird questions, and it's like I just don't think they were thinking about all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
There
Yeah,
might
they
be like
definitely-
some answer that like someone on Reddit's made up, like a theory of just like, oh, because of this, like based on like one piece of dialogue, like that probably exists, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only other lore question I had. I think you're right as far as what I've seen so far, and especially what we've talked about so far. I can definitely feel the Zelda formula here.
Yeah.
I haven't felt lost at all, except for when I was trying to go back to that bomb wall. I forgot where I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I've liked the little sprinkles of like what you've talked about with NPCs hinting towards locations of things. I talked to the guy that was like, the Zora have been seen in this lake, and they can have something that lets you have their abilities. So
Did you
there's stuff like
recognize-
that I appreciate.
You probably saw Zora. Did you recognize them? Because they look nothing like they do in other games.
I don't know if I saw any.
They're like those like weird green things in the water.
I don't think I've seen anything in the
Okay.
water yet.
They were, I think they're in Link's Awakening too, right? Are they? Maybe
Oh.
not.
I don't know.
Because like in this timeline, the Zoras are enemies, right?
Oh, really?
Because like the dudes in the water in the first Zelda game, those are Zoras. And, like you'll see them later in the game. Like those are what Zoras became, and like that's another one of the dumb Zelda lore things where like, this is how they started the Zora. Then like Ocarina, they're like, we're rebooting what they look like. We want to make them like cool friends, and
Yeah,
like, it
they're
doesn't
not
really work
hiders
together.
anymore.
It doesn't work together at all. But yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, so far, I've been surprised by a few things that we've talked about so far. I like the smaller details the most.
yeah,
and I've enjoyed what I've seen.
Yeah. I'm really glad that you said that, because I think that is, for me, even though like I think Link's Awakening like has like that weird vibe that also works, I think the thing for me that separates this game and makes it like my favorite game is that just the world is just, it's not like a huge world. It's not like these things are that expansive, but there's so many little touches and like little character moments and like all these like little things. Like you can tell someone wrote the dialogue. Like it's not like an old game where like you talk to people and like they're just giving you like tutorial stuff or like other things like that. They're like everyone feels like kind of familiar and like kind of friendly to you, and I think it just gives me like this like fun, cheery kind of vibe that I think really, really works for me and makes it like kind of special.
Yeah, as someone who's played Ocarina and is familiar with the beats, I guess, like it comes across as being a simpler version of that.
Yeah.
And I think there's merit to that. Like, obviously, I have a huge fondness for Link's Awakening, and I love how weird it gets. But I don't think that this playing it straight makes it worse.
Yeah.
You know?
And they find different ways instead of like doing the Link's Awakening thing of like breaking the fourth wall and like having Kirby there. Like I think they find different ways to make it goofy. It's not directly goofy like that game is, but it's goofy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. There's definitely like a storybookness to it.
Yeah. It definitely has that vibe.
Yeah.
And even like in the graphics too, like when we're talking about the Lost, like that, the Lost Woods like looks like a storybook kind of thing. Like
yeah. I'm most excited to. I honestly might go there before the Eastern Palace.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions for me? Anything you want to bring up that we didn't touch on?
No, I think I touched on most of my stuff as we were going.
Okay. So, like I said, I left off in this ruinous area outside of the Eastern Palace.
Yeah. So if you're following along, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking for next week, I'm still debating on whether, like, because I'm not sure if I want to do 1 or 2 dungeons. I don't know. Because the thing about this, the first episode is, like, there's so much exploring, and, like, that's just not going to happen for the rest. Like, this is, like, the most exploring you're going to do, and, like, now you're going to be pretty much dungeon to dungeon. You'll do some exploring, like, by yourself, like, in the middle, but there's not going to be, like, the big, like, introduction.
Yeah. Like, I've only explored probably, like, a little bit of the Kakariko area. I haven't gone into the Lost Woods much at all, and then the witch area, and then the palace. But
yeah,
I do definitely enjoy taking my time and seeing as much as I can. So I don't know if that factors in.
Okay, we could maybe. I don't know.
It's your call.
Let's do 1. Let's do 1, and then we'll see what you do afterwards.
Okay.
And yeah, okay, that's fine.
So next up, if you are following along on this dock, the Eastern Palace is next.
And then maybe get to the next one, but don't do it yet.
Okay,
cut it off there.
So do Eastern Palace, get to the Desert Palace.
Yes, that will be the next one we'll send you to.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm curious to see how different this dungeon is from Hyrule Castle, because Hyrule Castle kind of felt like a light dungeon.
Yeah. This dungeon, that you're going to get an actual feel now of like what the dungeons are going to be. It's definitely not like an Ocarina thing, where like the first dungeon of that game is like really easy. They're going to throw you to the wolves, kind of. It's not going to be like hard, but it'll be enough where it's like they're not going to ramp up much more than like where it starts. Like the dungeon difficulty is like pretty consistent, I would say. So it's not going to be like a beginner's dungeon. You're going to basically be playing the game at this point.
Awesome. I'm very excited to get back into it.
Yeah.
So, unless you have anything else to add, Mr. Master.
No, I'm good.
I think that wraps our first official step of the journey.
Very nice.
So, is there anything that you would like to plug before I tell the listeners where they can get this show?
You can follow me on Twitter at DJ_Gillard. You can check out Cantina Conversations, a weekly Star Wars podcast I do. Yeah. Probably going to do some Clone Wars stuff soon. That'll be fun before the new season.
Nice.
So.
Nice. I haven't listened to last week's episode yet, but...
Okay, that's fine.
Did you guys talk about the High Republic?
No, we were waiting on when the news is going to be official.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah. Well, because we want to talk about it with like a director and a pitch
the
in
context
mind.
of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this show, if you're listening to it on podcast services like Apple Podcasts or Pocket Casts or Anchor or wherever it's available, and you can rate the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you wrote a little review, and if not, just hit 5 stars or however many stars you think we deserve.
Yeah. Probably 5.
That's really
probably
easy.
5.
Yeah, probably 5.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It helps.
I think we're a unique enough Zelda show.
Yeah. It's a 5-star podcast for the audience we want, you know? I could totally get you not enjoying this podcast if it's a pretty small percentage of people, I would say. We're going for a specific group. So for those people, 5 stars, 100%.
Yeah, I will say I shared our preview episode on a few Zelda subreddits, and we do have some people from those subreddits joining along for this journey. So shout out to True Zelda, that subreddit, and the regular Zelda subreddit. So happy to have people along for the ride.
Yeah.
If you want to get the show about a day early, because we release on Thursdays, record on Wednesdays, you can go to patreon.com/joyclicks. And for just $1, you can get access to the video version as soon as it's edited Wednesday night.
Very nice.
But that wraps it up. My Twitter and Instagram is at Chris N. Buckley. DJ?
At DJ Gillard on Twitter.
Yes. Thank you for joining me once again.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to continue this journey. I am eager to hop back into this game. Yeah. It feels very good to have another Zelda game to play.
Yeah, it does. I miss that feeling some days, you know? It's it's all done.
Yeah. The wait for Breath of the Wild 2 is going to get smaller and smaller.
Yeah, every day that goes by, technically closer.
Yeah. And this is here to salve the wound until then.
Yep.
So, until next time.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce, so we're going to stick with that.
Go.
There we go. I remember the last second. I was like, okay, yeah.
There we go. See ya.